Hello, we're live broadcasting on the internet for this Hangout on Air, and this is for In Mind, In Body, and we're talking to Tessa Guy, who is the founder of In Mind, In Body. Say hello, Tessa.
Hi, Paul. Hi, Sandy.
Hello. And we're also talking to Dr. Sandy Jost. Sandy is an expert in guided visualization, and Sandy is actually in America as we speak. Again, the beauty of this fantastic technology that we can do these things pretty much with anybody anywhere in the world. Tessa is in Marlow in Buckinghamshire, and I'm in Camberley in Surrey. Now we want to talk about guided visualization, and we've got Sandy here today to help us really understand what guided visualization is and how it can help people. Now, what I wanted to ask you, Sandy, is we've discussed guided visualization on other of these hangouts and other podcasts. Could you tell us, in your mind, what the benefits are of guided visualization and where you've seen those benefits materialize with your clients?
There are so many documented benefits of guided visualization in the research that it is a simple thing for anyone to do, and you will easily find when you add this tool of guided visualization to your healing journey, you will find that you start to view things a little differently, and in the sense that things will be more calm and reassuring, and part of it is that you feel actively involved in your healing process. And when someone has a goal in mind of what they want to still do in life,
yeah,
and you focus on that in your mind, every time you involve your mind in that goal, it gets engaged, it gets behind you and wants to help you accomplish it. So whether it's you personally going through cancer treatment, or if as a caregiver, you're going to also want to help to nourish your body and take time to let it relax and heal and know that you're doing everything you can. Because the body also interprets every worry, every stressful event. And so the importance of doing visualization as a routine is just simply balancing healthily your worry response, which is also very natural. You don't want to blame yourself for worrying. You want to just know that, okay, I've done my worrying, write it down, and then let it go, and then do some very positive visualization where you're really causing an effect that really helps the body achieve its goal.
Yeah, you mentioned routine there. I think that's quite an important point, because in the cancer context, and I know this because my brother is currently undergoing cancer treatment, and it's punishing. There's no other way of describing it. It's a punishing regime. Even in an outpatient environment, it's almost daily visits to the hospital, lots of different drugs, and it takes over your life.
Yeah.
And even when you're healthy, you have routines, like exercising, for instance. People regularly or should regularly take exercise, and that is a part of a routine. So I suppose using guided visualization while you're going through the rigors of cancer treatment is a way to augment some of the things, the routines of your life, right?
That's a good way of putting it. And of course your routines will change as as Paul's mentioning here. It is each stage of anyone's life it's going to change, and all of those will benefit from you adding into your life a little trigger, let's call it that reminds you that you need to do it, and eventually becomes a habit, just like brushing your teeth. And the visualization is something you add in. In the beginning, you may do it more structured with a recording that you listen, but you get so good at doing by these tools of using your mind in a positive way that you can literally be driving your car, stopped at a red light, close your eyes for 2 minutes, or however long your red light is, and
Yeah.
I'm talking about the States. It's just that easy. It is. It's like taking an extra deep breath, and it is such a simple thing to add. And I think you mentioned, Paul, that you were initially quite skeptical. Just not as sure what weight this really carries. And I think 20 years from now, we're going to be having the mind's involvement in our healing as one of the first things we do. There's no profit involved. That's why it isn't promoted more, because the doctors know how important one's mind is in the healing process. And if it's not there...
It's interesting you say that, because all the time, well, I was... When my brother was in the thick of his treatment, particularly as an inpatient, because he had lymphoma, or has lymphoma, and thankfully he's in remission now. But the doctors always said to him, and the nurses, "Come on, Johnny, stay strong, positive thinking," that type of thing, because it was just so exhausting, the treatment regime that he was on. So I suppose that's there when they're saying stay positive, keep strong, and that type of thing. That is the doctor's way of saying what you're saying, right?
Yes, and the only thing I try to encourage my professionals who I train to help explain to the individual, which is you, the listener, using the tool. I want everyone to understand that when you use positive thinking, that doesn't mean you can't be sad. It doesn't mean you can't be angry. Those are all healthy emotions, and I just want to make sure everyone understands. You don't punish yourself again on top of the importance of feeling whatever you're feeling. The damage occurs when you just do too much worrying, too much anger, too much without this whole balance of emotions. So the act of making it a routine and making it part of your day, every morning, every night. If you're a single mother and you need to add it in somewhere, lock the bathroom door or tell the children that it's locked the door.
Okay, actually, it's interesting you say that, because I was going to ask you, Tessa. You're a cancer patient.
Yes.
Thankfully, you're in remission. How do people do this? I mean, do they lie down and listen to it, or do they sit in a chair? How many times a day should they do it? Just talk us through that a little bit.
Paul, the research shows that guided visualization works best last thing at night and first thing in the morning, as the body's relaxing and the mind's quietening down. But in actual fact, you can do it at any time of day. And on the website, all our MP3s have a variety of endings, either a sleep ending or an awake ending, depending on when you want to use the MP3s. What I'd like to emphasize at the moment is we often in life concentrate our thoughts on what we don't want to happen. We think that we don't want to be ill, but in actual fact we are thinking about being ill. And that's where our thoughts take us. Scientists estimate that we have over 70,000 thoughts a day, 90% of which we repeat tomorrow, and almost 70% of these are negative. And what's important is to make people aware of what they're thinking and what they are attracting into their lives. What excites me most of all about In Mind, In Body is, in actual fact, I came through my cancer experience and I learnt about the power of our mind and the impact that stress has. And I thought, well, through our thoughts we can initiate our own innate healing. And this is something that I wanted to get across to people and to show them how it's a very simple tool they can help themselves with. And I just focused that this is what I was going to do. And originally it was going to be an MP3 to actually, not an MP3, it was going to be a CD about exercise. And I have just focused in mind and body and always believed that in mind and body will work. And it's this power of positive thinking and focusing on what I want to happen and where I want a mind and body to be, and not focusing on what I don't want to happen. And I think with a cancer diagnosis can be a little bit like the placebo effect. You're thrown all this information about the side effects of treatment, you know, how awful you're going to feel, this metallic taste, you might lose your toenails, you might lose your hair, you might lose your eyebrows, you're going to feel sick. Your mind is attracting in those things, and it's getting people to say, okay, I'm going to stop right now and I'm going to focus my mind on how I want to be, how I want to feel, and not the other way around. And it's very powerful.
Right. I mean, even when you're well, you need to take time to relax and let the body, I suppose, adjust and take time out. So when you're first diagnosed with cancer, the amount of things you must be thinking.
Well, they also say that the tumours grow rapidly upon diagnosis. So the only thing that can happen is stress. You know, that sudden thought of, oh my goodness, you know, potentially my life is threatened. The impact it'll have on your family, friends, work. It's huge, and we need to give people control over their healing and get them to acknowledge that actually they're the ones who hold the key to their success. It doesn't matter what an oncologist does or a surgeon does, they are the person who has the choice.
And I wanted just to touch upon your cancer journey, Tessa, because a lot of people, I suppose, if they found out that they'd got cancer, would be asking how this has happened to them. You, as an individual, were probably fitter than most because you were a personal trainer and you took your personal fitness very seriously. You don't smoke. You perhaps had the odd glass of wine at the weekend, but certainly not in excess. You ate well and lived a relatively healthy lifestyle. How did you must have when you were first diagnosed with breast cancer? Did it occur? Did it cross your mind? How has this happened to me?
Paul, it did. Once I started my chemotherapy and I wasn't able to exercise, I couldn't have a glass of wine. Well, I could have, but actually I didn't like the taste of it.
Right.
And the things that I used to de-stress myself, I couldn't utilize. And I started reading a lot of books about self-healing and the power of our minds. And I realized that the impact that our thoughts have and that stress has, and unfortunately at the time I was very emotionally stressed, and I began to understand the impact that my emotions and my thoughts were having on my healing. At that point I realized that it was entirely up to me. I had a choice to choose that I could make a difference, that I could change my life, I could change certain aspects of my life, and in doing so, here I am.
Right. Now, that's great. I think we'll start wrapping this up now, because we just wanted to keep this short and sweet, and I think you've both beautifully summed up guided visualization yet again. And I know we've got a couple of people actually watching this live now, which is quite nice. And this will be made as a recording on the YouTube channel, so you'll be able to, for those who couldn't watch it live, will be able to watch it forever and ever. And we're going to do a lot more of these. And it is wonderful, Sandy, to have someone, you know, so expert in this field to take part in this. So we really would like to thank you. If people
Sandy's had to get up very early.
Yes, actually, what time is it there right now? Just so people can.
Yeah, technology is great, but we cannot change time zones. I'm morning with your evening.
Not yet, anyway.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, how can people get in touch with you, Sandy?
The best way is through my website of sandyjost.com. And I just wanted to add, when you had asked, Paul, how, I guess the technique, imagining how to use this personally, and Tess has made all these MP3s available for the download on the website, but they can put it on their iPod. They don't even have to be attached to their computer.
Yeah.
And you can use headphones, but you don't have to. You can put it by your bedside, but you can listen to it in the morning. So there's a lot of variety. It's just that the more you can do to make the sound inside of your own head, I guess that's the parting I'd like to people understand. You want it to be in your own voice, and although the way to say is you lean on our voice until you can hear your own.
Okay, that's fantastic. And Tessa, there's lots of different activities that people can listen to through these audio recordings, these MP3 files on your website. Just quickly talk us through a couple of the activities that you've got on there.
Yeah, Paul, we've got Sandy's Cancer Involvement Program, take you through the 9 different stages in cancer.
Right.
We've got different physical activities, so golf, swimming, yoga, running, jogging, horse riding, and we also have a shorter series of relaxation MP3, so you can imagine yourself relaxing by a log fire in a bluebell wood. So we bring in different metaphorical language.
All right, excellent. And how can people contact you?
I can be contacted on Twitter at Guy Tessa, and In Mind in Body is at In Mind in Body.
Okay. I would encourage people to engage with Tessa on Twitter, because Tessa is a cancer patient herself. She knows exactly what you're going through, and it's sometimes as well it's good to talk to like-minded people. I've never had cancer, and I touch wood that I never get it, so I wouldn't be the right person to talk to about it, because I have no idea what you're going through, but
Paul,
Tessa does.
There's a lot of research just been done that's come out this week for the research into triple-negative breast cancer,
Right.
which is one of the more aggressive forms of breast cancer, which actually I had. So if they are out there with triple-negative and they want to talk, then please get hold of me.
That'd be great. I'm sure people would really appreciate that. And anyone at all, I know you're very accessible, and I'd delight to talk to as well, Tessa. Get in touch with Tessa. I'm sure she'd love to hear from you. Now, just finally, I'm just going to flash up my screen there so people can see the web address. So it's inmindinbody.com. And if you have any questions, again, drop Tessa an email or Sandy an email. I know they'd love to hear from you. Ladies, thanks very much for taking part again. Really looking forward to doing our next one. I think we're really starting to gather some momentum on this now. I noticed that the plays on the video recordings of these Hangouts are doing quite well. We'll push them out on social media so we can extend the reach a bit more. And if you're watching this, make sure you tell your friends and family all about it. So thanks very much, ladies.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks, Sandy.
Thank you, Tess. Bye-bye.
Bye.